How do you define this idea of success? What does that mean to you?
Success is being satisfied with the end result. And I guess it's an individual thing. My end result is what I'm achieving for my clients, right? So I've always looked at it like if I achieve a great result for people, then it's going to turn into a great result for my life, right? And for my family, for the experiences I get to have,
Yeah.
right? I don't drive and do what I do so I can take the next big trip, right? Or so I can do the next thing in my personal life, or so I can make the next purchase, right? That's not my motivation, right? I know that if I do the right thing, I do this, it's all going to come to be, you know. So
So based on that definition of success, do you consider yourself successful?
yes, absolutely. Yeah, I've helped a lot of people, and that's the best part of it, you know. It's I've helped a lot of individuals, right? I've never been, and I by the way, I've got a ton of friends on the other side who represent corporations and insurance companies. I probably have more friends on that side than I do even on the side that I'm on. You believe it or not, which I think is a testament just to show with how I work with people in a very fair manner. But man, you know, on my side, where I'm dealing with individuals always, giving them another chance in life or trying to put their life back together, their broken pieces back together, and then seeing it happen, I think that's really the most satisfying thing. It really is. I mean, I'm really happy for people when we do that. I had a case yesterday. So I just flew back last night, got in at 10:30 p.m. from Richmond. I had a mediation in federal court in Richmond, Virginia. And I had a lady. And let me tell you, I mean, Virginia's a tough state to practice law and for plaintiffs because their laws go back essentially the founding of the country. They're very difficult. There's a lot of procedural hurdles and rules that basically prohibit you from bringing a case, unlike the rest of the country. Okay? It's a very, very, very different system of law. And it was a tough case, It was a very tough case. It was a premises case, which are very tough in Virginia. And this lady, though, legitimately got hurt. Legitimately was not her fault. And, we reached a good result. Was it the world for her? No, of course it wasn't. Was it a good result, right? Did it bring justice to her little piece of situation? Was she happy when she walked out of there? Absolutely. Did it take a lot of work to get there? It sure did. And I mean, that's really what it is. Each one of these cases, it's that's what it's really all about. And that's what I appreciate so much about being an attorney, right? Because, man, there's really, other than being a doctor, there's really very few, if no other professions that allow you to have that kind of an impact on someone's individual life.
You went from being a public defender
Yeah.
to now owning and running a multi-state law firm.
Yeah.
What mindset shift did it take for you to succeed not only as a public defender but now as a multi-state law firm?
Yeah, a big one, actually. Like one that almost seems like therapy. I mean, because, you start out as a public defender, and that was my choosing. I came out of law school, and I'm like, there's only two jobs I want, prosecutor or public defender. Why? The only two jobs that are going to put me in the courtroom every day. And that's all I cared about, right? So once I got into law school, I'm like, man, if I'm going to be a lawyer, man, I better be able to go to court because that's the kind of lawyer I want to be. And so I picked that, and I'm doing that kind of work. But that's a civil servant job, and you're doing all that stuff. Then I get and then I'm always working for somebody after that. And so then when I made the shift, which was in 2000, essentially, 2019, really starting to make that decision. I opened this law firm April 11th of 2020. So like about 2.5 weeks after COVID was announced in the United States. So before that, I mean, it's 2019. I'm making this mindset shift. That's what you're talking about, man. It's like going to therapy. It's like, wow, what do I got to do to now take it from a different level, right? Take it from purely just I'm an attorney representing somebody to a business, which are two different, very, very two different things. It's actually probably the hardest situation for all lawyers to deal with, right? And it's still something I struggle with every day, right? I mean, there's no playbook, unfortunately. Like I can't go to Barnes and Noble and get a book that says how do you run a law firm. I mean, it's a complicated mess, sometimes. And man, that has been a trying situation for me. And it's one that I had to make sure I made the mind shift decision that I would commit myself to that. So because it takes a lot more thought and process on that every day, where it takes me away from representing clients, right? I have to rely on people to do that more. And then just on how you put it together, right? That's hard. It's difficult. I have all the respect. Now that I'm a CEO, right, of my company, man, I have all the respect in the world for every CEO that exists, and every small business owner and large business owner, because it's a challenging thing, but it's definitely, you have to have the mindset to do it. And that's one of, that comes with a lot of different facets than just, hey, I'm going to take this case and run it, right? And this is the process. It's a situation where now I'm responsible for people. I'm responsible for their homes. I'm responsible for my clients as well. I'm responsible for the daily operation of the business. And, it definitely took a lot to get there, but I'm there.
Hey there, it's the real Jason Duncan. Thank you for watching this video. If you are an entrepreneur and you've ever thought about what it's going to be like when you get ready to exit your business, I'm the guy you want to follow. So make sure that you've subscribed to this channel and go check out the link in the description, therealjasonduncan.com. Check out the resources I've got for people just like you, as an entrepreneur who's trying to get his life back, get her life back, get your time and freedom back. We've got a couple other videos you might be interested in. There's one here and there's one here. If that's what you want as an entrepreneur, if you're being trapped in your business, then I can help you get out of that. So go to therealjasonduncan.com. The link is in the description and check out one of these videos. I'll see you next time.